8 March 2014 at 12:30 p.m., a normal night like any other day at Kuala Lumpur Airport in Malaysia. As usual, people are sitting in the ATSC and keeping the takeoff and landing records of one flight after another, an AT&T agent. He has recorded details of thousands of such flights in his career. That's why tonight is no different for him. But tonight, an incident is going to happen which will shock not only people but the entire world. This incident has forced people to face a question whose answer will not be known from 2014 to 2026. Even today, after 12 years, no one has been able to give it. That day at 12:41 a.m., one flight like many flights, MH370, just took off from Kuala Lumpur Airport for Beijing, China. This is a routine flight like any other day, just 6 hours of journey, 227 passengers. A total of 239 people were on board that flight, including 10 cabin crew and 2 pilots. The weather outside is absolutely clear. There is no forecast for rain and clouds. Everything is absolutely normal. The man sitting at the CCTV can clearly see MH370 on his radar. After climbing the cruising plateau, he slowly moved towards Vietnam. Then it was 1:19 p.m. Now the flight will be handed over from Malaysia to Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City ATC. Will happen. The person said on the radio, "Contact me. Good night." Along with this came the reply of Captain Zahari Ahmed. "Good night, Malaysian, that big man's responsibility ends here." He probably then started writing the log of the next flight, but after just 2 minutes, when John looked at the screen again, his eyes narrowed as usual. MH370 missile has disappeared from radar. First, people thought maybe Ho Chi Minh has been connected to ETSI, but on the other side, Ho Chi Minh ATC is waiting for MCH37 call. They also think that MH370 may still be connected to Malaysia's ATC, but actually flight MH370 is not connected to anyone. Not just contact, but good MH370R and no existence. But there was neither any accident nor any cholera. As if a plane had suddenly vanished in midair, and that was on March 8, 2014, 239 MH370 has been missing for the public for almost 12 years now. Even after spending about $160 million, no trace of it was found. And right here, the question arises that there is a real plane with so many floating people, but there will be no test in it. In today's video, we will know what exactly happened with MH370. Can a plane really disappear from the sky like this? And if it could, then where did the planet disappear? In today's video, I will discuss all this in detail, so all of you, please watch the video till the end. So without any further delay, let's start our today's video, The Mystery of Flight IC370. It is important to know in some detail what happened just before MH370 disappeared from radar, because this incident is not so easy as it seems. It was 1:19 in the night. MH370 then slowly left Malaysian airspace and headed towards Vietnam. There is a waypoint in the sky called Igri, and at that time, the planet is near that waypoint. Has reached. Well, for those who don't know. Let me tell you that a waypoint means a checkpoint in the airspace. After passing over it, the plane reaches its destination. Up until this point, everything was completely normal, but at this very moment, the incident happened, which later shocked the whole world. The MH370 transponder suddenly turned off. Now it is necessary to understand a little about what a transponder is. A transponder is the device that shows the identity, altitude, and speed of the aircraft on the ATC radar. When it turns off, the aircraft disappears from the radar. But the most important thing here is that the transponder stopped sending altitude data to ATC about 37 seconds before it went off. And this is only possible when someone in the cockpit manually turns off the switch. So this was not a mechanical failure, it was completely intentional. And a few seconds after the transponder went off, MH7 suddenly made a sharp left turn, and instead of going towards Beijing, it started heading back towards Malaysia. This time it was so sharp. A plane cannot take a turn on autopilot. That means someone sitting in the cockpit turned the plane by hand. Now think about it. The moment the Malaysian ATC handed over the flight to Vietnam, At that very moment, the transponder turned off, and the plane turned in the opposite direction. This timing is not a coincidence at all, because the time of this handover is the moment when a small gap is created between the ATCs of the two countries. Malaysia thinks it is with Vietnam, and Vietnam thinks it is with Malaysia, and using that gap, MA7, it moved away quietly. That is, we can assume that the person who did this knew everything about the airspace very well, but does a plane completely disappear when the transponder is turned off? No, it doesn't. And this is where the story gets more complicated. Even after the transponder was turned off, the signal of an unknown plane was detected on the Malaysian military radar. That plane was climbing over the Malay Peninsula and heading towards the Strait of Malacca. Later, the investigation revealed that the unknown plane was MH370, but at that moment, the military did not pay attention to it. They thought that the plane might be returning to Malaysia due to some emergency. Meanwhile, after losing contact with ATC, the ACARS system of MH370 also shut down. This ACARS means a system that sends the status of the plane's engines and equipment to the ground station, and someone also turned off this device intentionally. But here's an interesting thing. To turn off the ACARS, you have to turn off the plane's power supply, and MA370 had 4. Generator. ACARS will work only if any one of the generators is running. Even if all the generators are off, the APU, that is auxiliary power unit, will automatically start. That means that despite having 4 generators and the APU, a total of 5 power sources, the ACRC was off. Only a person who knows every system of the plane like the back of his hand knows how to do this. But here a big mistake is made. There is another system on the plane that someone forgot about. That is the Satellite Data Unit, or SDU. This system is activated once every hour. It sends an automatic signal to the satellite. This is called a handshake. This cannot be turned off in any way. This unit will remain active as long as the main power of the plane is on. This time, even after disappearing from the radar, MH370 sent a total of 7 handshake signals. This means that the plane flew in the sky for about 7 hours after disappearing from the radar. The last signal came at 8:19 Malaysian time, and there's nothing more after that. It is assumed that the plane ran out of fuel from this moment. Done. Now, the investigating agency tries to find out 2 things by analyzing these handshake signals. One is BTO, i.e., bus timing offset, which tells how far the plane was from the satellite, and the other is BFO, that is bust frequency offset, which tells which direction the plane was going. Have you ever noticed that the sound of the siren is heard louder when the ambulance is approaching, and it is heard softly when it is moving away? This is called the Doppler effect. BFO works on the same principle, and according to this BFO data, it is known that the plane was climbing south. And by combining these 2 data, the investigators identified a place. The place is called the 7th Arc, an imaginary arc in the southern Indian Ocean where the last handshake signal of MH370 was lost, and the investigation agency said that MH370's journey ended at a certain point in the 7th Arc. Then the search began, but this search was the most difficult and expensive search operation in the history of the world. For the first 3 years, 26 countries led by Australia. The search operation, which cost about $107 million, was suspended in January 2017 and covered an area of about 120,000 square kilometers in the southern Indian Ocean, has yielded only a few pieces of debris, which washed up on beaches in Madagascar and South Africa. But the original plane has yet to be found. But the story doesn't end there. In 2018, a high-tech company called Ocean Infinity launched a new search operation. They are basically mapping and collecting data on the seabed. The collector works. They have advanced ships, remote control boats, and underwater vehicles. In 2019, this company successfully found a lost Korean ship named Stella Daisy. Now they have made an agreement with the Malaysian government, the condition of which is no find, no fee. That means if they do not find the plane, they will not take a single penny, and if they do, they will take $70 million. But in 2018, they also did not find anything. However, along with this search operation, work has also started with a new technology. An aviation engineer named Richard God, engineer WSPR, or Weak Signal Propagation Reporter, used this technology to try to trace the path of MH370. The system basically collects signals from thousands of radio stations around the world, and the data has been stored since 2008. Godford claims that by analyzing this data, he has learned that MH370 was not flying straight. Instead, it was taking different turns to travel along busy area routes, and just before the plane landed or crashed, the plane flew in a figure-8 pattern. In English, they made a circle in the shape of an 8. So with all this new information, Ocean Infinity has come back into the field again recently. This time, they have an 18-month contract with the Malaysian government. This time they have much more advanced technology than before, and they have decided that this time they will search beyond the previous search area. So it can be said that the families of those 239 people are still waiting. Anyway, this is a matter of searching. Now let me tell you what really happened with MH370. See what really happened with MH370. While searching for the answer to this question, investigators have basically come up with 3 theories. The first theory is that Captain Zahari did it himself. The investigation agency said he had a flight simulator at home, and the data found there showed that he had stimulated a route that matched the final trajectory of MH370. But the investigation committee has rejected this theory because there is no evidence against such an experienced pilot other than this one stimulator data. The second theory is hijacking or terrorist attack. Later, the investigation revealed that 2 Iranian passengers on the flight that day had fake passports. They used it, but the investigation showed that they only wanted to stay in Europe. They had no plan to hijack, and apart from this fake passport, no other evidence was found against them. So this theory was completely ruled out. Then comes the third or most likely theory, and that is mechanical failure or depressurization. According to the investigation agency, there may have been an oxygen problem inside the cockpit. As a result, the pilots lost consciousness after some time, and when the pilots lost consciousness while continuing to operate on autopilot, they ran out of fuel. The plane ended up crashing into the Indian Ocean. But there is a big problem with this theory too. Could a plane with an unconscious pilot have gone off the radar so precisely? No one has the answer. On the night of March 8, 2014, 239 people boarded a flight with their lives in their hands. Some were returning home, some were going to another city. Their families, friends, and dreams were waiting for them. But since that night, their families have been suffering in a strange way. They have no courage, because as long as the wreckage of that plane is found, there is hope. Today, almost 12 years have passed, but there is no solution to the mystery. But the search has not stopped yet, and as long as those 239 families are waiting, this search will continue. Ocean Infinity is still in the field. New technology, new hope. Maybe this year or maybe next year, an answer may be found. It may not be found again. But one thing is for sure, this mystery of Flight MH370 is still one of the biggest unsolved questions in the world. What is your opinion on what exactly happened with this MH370? Please comment and let me know. I will wait to read your comments. Thank you.